There are lots of different ways to accent parts of an image, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to create shine and texture on smaller detailed images using a clear glaze pen. Let me show you the tools and products you're going to need. First, you're going to need some cardstock, and I'm using the Gina Designs Pure Luxury 120-pound heavy base weight cardstock. Then you're going to need some ink, and I'm using a Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. I'm using some Copic markers, and as I use them, I'll tell you the color numbers, so if you want to make this same card, you'll be able to follow along. And I'm also using a clear glaze pen by Sakura, and I'm using one of my favorite images from the brand new up-and-coming StampTV kit called Sent with Love. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to stamp this image using some of the black Memento ink onto a piece of the white cardstock. I'm going to begin by coloring the hearts, and I'm going to use Copic marker RV04, and that's called Shock Pink. And I really like the original markers because they have this very, very fine tip, and that makes it nice for when you're doing a card or an image that is very, very small and detailed like this. You can get into the smallest little spots. You can also do that with chow and sketch markers by tipping the marker down just a little bit and using the point of the brush end. But I've really gotten attached to these original markers, so I think I'm going to stick with these for a while. As you can see, I'm coloring all the hearts inside my little bubblegum candy machine here. And I'm not doing any fancy shading because these hearts are very, very small, and I just want to give them a nice bright pop of color. I'm also going to color all the rest of the little hearts that are accenting this image. These two little hearts that are coming out of the machine and the little heart that's up top. My next color that I'm going to use is E25, and it's called Caribe Cocoa. And I'm just going to color the bottom of the bubblegum machine, and then this little part right here. Because I want to add just a little splash of chocolate brown in there, because you'll see in my finished project how I mix the pinks and the browns together. My next color is going to be E43, and that's called Dull Ivory. And I'm going to use the Dull Ivory to color the base of the gumball machine. And I'm not going to worry about over blending this because I want this to look just a little rough and textured. So I'm going to kind of just leave it a little bit sparse of color, like that. Now, I'm going to go back to that brown, that E25 again, and I'm going to add some of that E25 on top because I think I just need a little bit more chocolate brown in this project. Okay. Next color I'm going to use is W3, and that's a warm gray, number 3. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to fill in this space right here just to make that look a little bit more like there's metal in there. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of that right around the crank. And now, for my final color, I'm going to use B00 Frost Blue, and I'm going to just pop a little bit of that color onto the glass bowl at the top. I want to give that the look of shiny glass, but I don't want to over color, so I'm just going to kind of squiggle a little bit of that color in there and leave some shallow areas like that. Now using my Sakura clear glaze pen, I'm going to highlight all of the little hearts on the bubblegum machine. Now you can use other products like Crystal Lacquer and Crystal Effects. They're all very nice products, but what you're going to find is they're a lot harder to control than this tiny little glaze pen. You can see how easy this is. All I'm doing really is just coloring the same way that I just colored the hearts in with pink. Now I'm coloring them with clear. And this is going to give me that nice, shiny texture and raised feel, so that once it's all dry, if somebody runs their finger over it, they're going to be able to feel that the hearts are puffed up a little bit. And it's just a nice little touch for this little petite image. And now I'm not sure if you can see that, but I think you can. You can see that in the camera there. When I turn it a little bit, you can see how those hearts are just shining. And the rest of the image is just colored in. And here's my finished card project. As you can see, once the hearts dry a little bit, it really gives a nice solid shine when you turn it into the light. And it's so nice to just run your finger on top. You can feel all of those little raised bumps of the hearts. Really gives it some interest. And you can also see on this card, you're getting a little sneak peek of some of the beautiful pattern paper and ribbon and one of the cute little greetings and brads that are in the new StampTV kit, the new Sent with Love StampTV kit. Glaze pens also come in colors, including black, but I love to use the clear one over markers. It's like having hundreds of different colored glaze pens all in one.